Hello guys, what's up? Have you ever thought to yourself, if you knew you would die, what would be the last word you say in this world? And what would you say to the people around you? And how would you feel when you know death is expecting you? What would you say? In this video we are going to talk about the last words that condemned people said before their execution and what went on inside their minds. Individuals who made life hell for others or took away the chances of living from them. If this intrigues you and want to know more, let's watch the video till the end. The first person I want to discuss is known as the Dusseldorf Vampire. He earned the name Dusseldorf Vampire because most of the time before he murdered his victims, he tried to suck blood from their open wounds. It's uncertain how many people he killed, and there are rumors that he had illicit relationships with animals. After he was caught by the police, he was sentenced to be executed, and the execution method used on him was the guillotine, which meant they cut off his head. Since he loved blood so much, he asked, "Tell me, after my head is cut off, is it possible for me to hear the blood splashing out of my neck even for a few moments?" As the last word, he said, "This is a desire that supersedes all other desires." And then they cut off his head. But do you think the story ends here? Not as usual. At the moment in one of the museums, you can visit his mummified head, which has been cut in half. Unfortunately, I'm unable to include it in this video due to YouTube's policy violations, but you can check it out yourself later on. The next person we are going to discuss is a serial killer known as Pogo the Clown. Over the years, this man would consistently dress up as a clown and attend children's birthday parties, kids' hospitals, or even kids' charity events to perform as a clown. This man buried 33 kids under his house, and no one suspected that he was the one killing the town's children. Until the moment the police began to investigate him, not for a murder, but for a sexual offense. It was only then that they came to his house, conducted an investigation, and discovered the bodies of the unfortunate children buried in the ground. However, it took a couple of years for his murder to be proven. It wasn't until 14 years of being in jail that his verdict was finally issued and they executed him. But what was the last word he said? The last word he said was, "Kiss my ass." It's not my business, I'm just retelling it. The next person I want to talk about is one of the most famous serial killers in the United States by the name of Jeffrey Dahmer. This man killed 17 males over a span of 13 years, but the way he killed these people and what he did afterward is truly terrifying. I really don't know how to describe it, but he kinda satisfied his sexual needs with his victims' bodies. This is one of the horrifying aspects of his crimes. Secondly, he dismembered his victims, putting their body parts in the refrigerator to later cook, fry, make stews, and eat them. He used human flesh for this gruesome act. But the interesting part is he wasn't sentenced to execution. Instead, he died in prison. So, how did this happen? His cellmate beat him to death. Why? He said it was because this man was a disgusting sick maniac, and he was so disturbed by him that he decided to kill him. He recalls a time when he was about to eat food. He would arrange the food to resemble human flesh and then pour ketchup on it to be like blood. And he always kept talking about these things to the point that his cellmate could not tolerate it anymore and ended up killing him. Before he died, he said, "It doesn't matter to me whether I'm alive or dead. So if you want to kill me, go ahead." The next person was arrested in 1978 on the accusation of killing two young men who were brothers. They were two teenage brothers riding in a car. He got into their car and forced them to drive to a secluded place. Then he murdered them there in a very terrifying manner. Their situation was so terrifying that their parents could not distinguish their identity after death. On that day, he attempted to escape with their car, but the police successfully arrested him on the same day. After they sentenced him to death, before the execution, he said, "Whether you are a king or a beggar, eventually one day you must face the angel of death." The next person is a woman who recently went viral on TikTok, and you might have seen her as well. This woman had a difficult childhood, and when she grew up, she became a prostitute. While working in her, let's say, profession, she murdered 7 men. She claimed it was self-defense, but the court rejected such claims. This woman became famous, and they even made movies about her. Her quotes and what she said are so popular that you can find them on TikTok. But I think what she said before her execution is the most terrifying. She said, "Expect me, I will come back, and I will come back with Christ on 6th of June." She also mentioned other nonsensical things that cannot be mentioned in this video, but the phrase "I come back" is indeed terrifying, isn't it? The next person is a famous American criminal by the name of Charles Manson. He was a cult leader who not only committed murder on his own, but also by brainwashing his cult caused his members to commit murders. There's a long story to be told about this man, and one of the things he did was murder an actress by the name of Sharon Tate, who was pregnant at the time of her death. And what do you think the last words of this murderer were before his execution? "It doesn't matter to me if you're pregnant or not. You're about to die." He was saying to someone. Was he remembering the moment he murdered the young actress? Was he talking to himself? Because he was very delusional and absolutely crazy. If you just watch his interviews, you can see he was always in a very weird mood. But if you put his last words alongside what he really did in the past, it sends shivers down your spine. The next person was an individual that had never been exposed as a murderer for many years. But he is known as one of the most savage serial killers in the United States. This man was caught after many years and confessed to murdering 17 people and sexually offending over 1,000 individuals. Yes, 1,000. How is it even possible? When you look at his face, you can see the brutality and savage nature of his personality that makes everyone uncomfortable. And the last words of this man are among the famous ones, because when they wanted to execute him, he went crazy and began yelling at the executioner and saying, "Come on, you fucking bastard! The time you just wasted on killing me, I would have killed at least 12 people. Come on!" Alright, I was just simulating the environment for you. Okay. Just imagine you're about to execute a serial killer and he's yelling at you savagely saying, "Kill me, you fucking bastard." It's really terrifying. I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you give it a thumbs up and let me know your opinions on these last words of murderers. Also, don't forget to check my other Unsolved episodes here and here. Until the next video, see ya.